to find employees who had his own faith that he was going to make sales. There were 9 members of the staff, besides Babbitt and his partner and father-in-law, Henry Thompson, who rarely came into the office. The 9 were Stanley Graff, the outside salesman, a youngish man given to cigarettes and the playing of pool; old Mat Penniman, general utility man, collector of rents and salesman of insurance; broken, silent Gray, a mystery, reputed to have been a crack real estate man with a firm of his own in haughty Brooklyn; Chester Kirby Laylock, resident salesman out at the Glen Oriole acreage development, an enthusiastic person with a silky mustache and much family; Miss Theresa McElwain, the swift and rather pretty stenographer; Miss Wilberta Bennigan, the thick, slow, laborious accountant and file clerk; and 4 freelance part-time commission salesmen. As he looked from his own cage into the main room, Babbitt mourned, "McGowan's a good stenog, smart as a whip, but Stan Graff and all those bums." The zest of the spring morning was smothered in the stale office air. Normally he admired the office with a pleased surprise that he could have created this sure lovely thing. Normally he was stimulated by the clean newness of it and the air of bustle, but to-day it seemed flat. The tiled floor, like a bathroom, the ochre-colored metal ceiling, the faded maps on the hard plaster walls, the chairs of varnished pale oak, the desks and filing cabinets of steel painted an olive drab. It was a vault, a steel chapel where loafing and laughter were raw sin. He hadn't even any satisfaction in the new water cooler, and it was the very best water cooler, up to date, scientific, and right thinking. It had cost a great deal of money, in itself a virtue. It possessed a non-conducting fiber ice container, a porcelain water jar, guaranteed hygienic, a dripless, non-clogging sanitary faucet, and machine-painted decorations in 2 tones of gold. He looked down the relentless stretch of tiled floor at the water cooler, and assured himself that no tenant of the Reeves Building had a more expensive one. But he could not recapture the feeling of social superiority it had given him. He astoundingly grunted, "I'd like to beat it off to the woods right now and loaf all day. Go to Gunch's again to-night, play poker, and cuss as much as I feel like, and drink 109,000 bottles of beer." He sighed. He read through his mail. He shouted McGowan, which meant Miss McGowan, and began to dictate. This was his own version of his first letter. "Omar Gribble. Send it to his office, Miss McGowan. Yours of 20th to hand in and reply would say, look here, Gribble, I'm awfully afraid if we go on shilly-shallying like this, we'll just naturally lose the Allen sale. I had Allen up on the carpet day before yesterday, got right down to cases, and think I can assure you, no, change that. All my experience indicates he is all right, means to do business. Looked into financial record, which is fine. That sentence seems to be a little balled up. Miss Gowan, make a couple of sentences out of it if you have to. Period, new paragraph. He is perfectly willing to prorate the special assessment, and strikes me I'm dead sure there will be no difficulty in getting him to pay for title insurance. So now, for heaven's sake, let's get busy. No, make it that. So now let's go to it and get down. No, that's enough. You can tie those sentences up a little better when you type 'em. Miss McGowan, yours sincerely, etc." This is the version of his letter which he received typed from Miss McGowan that afternoon. Babbitt Thompson Realty Company. Homes for Folks. Reeves Building, Oberlin Avenue and 3rd Street Northeast, Zenith. Omar Gribble, Esquire, 376 North American Building, Zenith. Dear Mr. Gribble, your letter of the 20th to hand, I must say I'm awfully afraid that if we go on shilly-shallying like this, we'll just naturally lose the Allen sale. I had Allen up on the carpet day before yesterday, and got right down to cases. All my experience indicates that he means to do business. I have also looked into his financial record, which is fine. He is perfectly willing to prorate the special assessment, and there will be no difficulty in getting him to pay for title insurance. So let's go. Yours sincerely. As he read and signed it in his correct flowing business college hand, Babbitt reflected, "Now that's a good strong letter, and clear as a bell. Now what I never told McGowan to make a third paragraph here. Wish he'd quit trying to improve on my dictation. But what I can't understand is why can't Stan Graff or Chet Laybeck write a letter like that, with punch, with kick." The most important thing he dictated that morning was the fortnightly form letter to be mimeographed and sent out to 1,000 prospects. It was diligently imitative of the best literary models of the day, of heart-to-heart talk advertisements, sales-pulling letters, disclosures on the development of will-power, and hand-shaking house organs, as richly poured forth by the new school of poets of business. He had painfully written out the first draft, and he intoned it now like a poet, delicate and distinct. "Say, old man, I just wanted to know, can I do you a whale of a favor? Honest, no kidding. I know you're interested in getting a house, not merely a place where you hang up the old bonnet, but a love nest for the wife and kiddies, and maybe for the flivver out beyond. Be sure to spell Beyant, Miss McGowan. The Spud Garden. Say, did you ever stop to think that we're here to save you trouble? That's how I make a living. Folks don't pay us for our lovely beauty. Now take a look. Sit down at that handsome carved mahogany escritoire and shoot us a line telling us just what you want, and if we can find it, we'll come hopping down to your lane with the good tidings, and if we can't, we won't bother you. To save your time, just fill out the blank enclosed. On request, we'll also send blank recording store properties in Floral Heights, Silver Grove, Linton, Bellevue, and all East Side residential district. Yours for service. P.S. Just a hint of some plums we can pick for you. Some genuine bargains that came in today. Silver Grove, cute, 4-room California bungalow, AMI garage, dandy shade tree, swell neighborhood, handy car line. $3,700, $780 down, and balance liberal. Babbitt Thompson, terms cheaper than rent. Dorchester, a corker. Artistic 2-family house, all oak trim, parquet floors, lovely gas log, big porches, colonial, heated all-weather garage, a bargain, $11,250. Dictation over, with its need of sitting and thinking instead of bustling around and making a noise and really doing something. Babbitt sat creakily back in his revolving desk chair and beamed on Miss McGowan. He was conscious of her as a girl, of black bobbed hair against demure cheeks. A longing which was indistinguishable from loneliness enfeebled him. While he waited, tapping a long, precise pencil point on the desk tablet, he half identified her with the fairy girl of his dreams. He imagined their eyes meeting with terrifying recognition, imagined touching her lips with frightened reverence, and she was chirping, "Any more, Mr. Babbitt?" He grunted, "That winds it up, I guess," and turned heavily away. For all his wandering thoughts, they had never been more intimate than this. He often reflected, "Never forgot how old Jake Offutt said a wise bird never goes love-making in his own office or his own home. Start trouble, sure, but—" In 23 years of married life he had peered uneasily at every graceful ankle, every soft shoulder. In thought he had treasured them, but not once had he hazarded respectability by adventuring. Now, as he calculated the cost of repapering the Stikes house, he was restless again, discontented about nothing and everything, ashamed of his discontentment, and lonely for the fairy girl. End of chapter 3.